Are you done with May 2022? Has it been a bit of a roller coaster ride for you? Have you been feeling hypersensitive? Has everybody else around you been creating drama that you just can't stand anymore? Well, I've got good news for you. We're going to be sharing with you the Numerology and Astrology forecast for June of 2022. Myself and Susan Saucier, spiritual life coach. We are going to be sharing with you all the good stuff that's on its way for June 2022. Hey, welcome back. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, Susan Saucier and I are going to be talking about what's coming up for you in June of 2022. I don't know about you, Susan, but I am pumped for June to come. How about you?
I am super pumped for June to come. I am so happy to kick May out the door.
No kidding, right? It's been a little heavy, right?
It's been intense.
Yeah. Well, it was an 11 universal month, right? So, I mean, that just brought in heaps of illumination, right? Heaps of seeing things for what they really are. The opportunity to see your relationships for who they are and what they are and why they're there in front of you. And they're like right in front of your face kind of thing. And it's just been really tense, I found.
Yes,
Yeah.
definitely. It put the spotlight on all kinds of things that we may not have wanted to see,
Yeah.
hear, or feel.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, let's go back under the blanket and hide for a while, but now we don't have to in the next, month of
Yeah.
June, which is awesome.
Absolutely. I know with May, like I found the patience. In fact, I gotta share with you, I don't know, in Nova Scotia, where I'm from, this is like the season of the ants, right? And they're carrying my house away as we speak. But my office is usually pretty good. I don't typically have too many ants in the office. But I had this one ant, right? And every time I would get impatient or upset about something in the month of May, this ant would just come marching across my desk, right? And I'm like, okay, I get it, right? And I just let him go on his merry way. He's one of the lucky few that actually was allowed to get away.
Right.
But ants are always about patience. But no, it has been a lot of moodiness. There's been a lot of time for us to spend in our timeout chairs. We don't really feel like spending time with other people. It's like small, intimate groups. But 2022 is a 6 universal year, right? So that 6 energy is demanding the family interaction. It's just too hard in a lot of cases. So, we're not feeling very social. We don't really want to hang out with our families. We don't want to hang out with anybody in May of 2022. So it's been a little rough. And then on top of that, I guess we've had the Mercury retrograde for a while. And that's always a little bit overrated. I'll let you talk about that here in a sec. But June, let's do June. June is the 6th month in 2022. So we add 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 2 equals 6. Add 6 for the universal year to 6 for the universal month. We've got a 12, and 1 and 2 equals 3. So this is a much lighter, sunnier energy coming up in June. So I'm super excited to go into that. It's forward motion. Each month gives us a different energy. So one month is a go time kind of a month, and the next one is sit low, be patient, gather your energy again, rest and restore, because the next month you're going forward again. So we've been in a downward spiral with May. It's been a very heavy blanket on all of us, especially people who are 11s or are 2 life path numbers. They're going to feel it more intensely than most. But seriously, when we come into June, it's forward moving. And Susan, I know you'll be talking about the planets and that they're in a bit of a more user-friendly place as well. But it's a time when we're going to feel like being social again. The weather's changing and shifting to a better place. We're going to feel like hanging out with other people. Our creative juices are going to be going again. It's a time to really express who you are. This is a chance to take a risk, show people who your unique side, your creative side, something a little out there. You might be feeling inspired to redecorate your office or your home in some way. Get the use of color, change your wardrobe, wear different colors, that sort of thing. This is really important in June. It's a time when it actually isn't such a bad time to reconnect with your family, because you're going to feel more comfortable in the group environment. And 2022 is not going to go away anytime soon. So that is that vibration of the 6 that relates to our responsibility to our families. So maybe if you were kind of laying low last month and you didn't want to have that discussion with one of your kids or family member or whatever, it's going to be a lot easier for you in June. One of the things I find helps me in any month, but in particular in a 3 universal month or a 3 personal month, is to find my sense of humor. Find the humor in everything. Even when you see a silly meme or you see a stupid thing on TikTok or Instagram or something, if you find it funny and you're laughing about it, share it with somebody, right? See the humor in everything. If you're late for work or you didn't get your kids out the door on time or whatever, just see the humor in it. Like, just find something funny to laugh at. It's really going to be a time when we need to really lighten up. It's time not to take ourselves quite so seriously. And one of the things that I love to do is cruise your website, or not your website so much, but your YouTube channel. And Susan, if you guys don't know it, Susan has the most amazing collection of meditations on her YouTube channel. She's got everything from soup to nuts. It's a fantastic collection in there. I'm so grateful for them. And so if you sign up for my newsletter, you can get it that way. She's got a really great meditation called Manifest Your Dreams all year long, right? So this is a very forward-moving energy in June, and you want every tool possible to be able to do exactly that, move forward. And this meditation is fabulous for that. So you can sign up for my newsletter on AnnPerryNumerologist.com. You also get a video called 3 Things Your Date of Birth Can Reveal About You that you can't get on YouTube. So it's a little bonus for you there. But you'll gain access to that. So what have you got to say about June of 2022? So, I mean, what's happening? You're going to mirror what I'm saying, or what else have you got to share?
I am totally in agreement with what you're saying, that, May was really rough, and you're right. I've noticed that too. We have go, slow down, go and slow down. So yeah, even though it didn't feel that I could slow down all that much in May because there was so much going on, chaos, you name it, that kind of stuff, but ready to, take it to the next level in June, which is awesome. So yeah, astrologically, we've got the new moon in Gemini that's at the end of May, so May 30th, but that also closes the solar eclipse portal until November. So at least whatever, intensity we were feeling with that has will be slowing down. And then we're in Gemini season. So Gemini is an air sign. We're going to be experiencing lots of things where we're supported for communication, self-expression. You want to pay attention to your listening skills. This is a time where people, really get out and want to socialize and have fun and network, which is awesome. But you also want to make sure you're doing listening too, and not just, go with that 3 too. They like to talk a lot. So it's great for inspired ideas and adventure, creativity, again, air sign. So you got to think overthinking. You got to be careful, if you get in your head, to bring yourself down a little bit. And then I also like to think with Gemini, they're the twins, right? So I always think of that as the spiritual self and the physical self. So you want to make sure you're connecting with those parts of you, and make sure you're balancing the two, and not just, some people can get, completely lost in their physical self and forget they need to center and connect with their inner self. And those other people can get so lost in the spiritual realm that, they're tripping over their own feet trying to walk on the sidewalk because they're, they've completely left their physical body. So you want to find the balance between the two. As far as full moon, new moon stuff, we've got the full moon that comes on June 14th, and that's going to be in Sagittarius. So that's a fun sign. It's fire, action. Again, we're in a busy month of let's go out and have adventure, take action. And Sagittarius is all about higher education. So if you're thinking of taking courses or starting, this is actually a good month, I think, to launch things too, once Mercury retrograde's out of the way. Spirituality, wisdom, philosophy, travel. Sagittarius also does revolve around laws and religion. So, you might see some changes with that stuff. Who knows? But also think of this full moon, it is tied to any events or situations that were back in December of 2021. So you can think back of what was going on.
Oh,
and
my. Do we really have to go revisit that?
Let's go back a little bit and think about what was going on and,
Uh,
what did you, learn from that, whatnot. Yeah, and then the new moon's going to be on the end of the month, so it's June 28th, and that's in Cancer, and we do enter Cancer season around the 21st. So June's going to be a mixture of Gemini than Cancer. So we've got the air sign, the busy communication, let's go, fun, socialize, and then we've got Cancer coming in towards the end, mid-month really, and it's more emotional, more water sign, so we're going to feel it a little more, but it still feels upbeat. It feels, we're going into a new season, and it's owning who you're going to become, acknowledging your emotions, not just burying them, letting them come up, learn from them. And just to touch on Mercury retrograde just a little bit, ends June 3rd. But remember the post shadow phase for at least a couple of weeks. So if you want to launch something, if you are planning to sign anything, you want to do your best to wait until, June 17th area, right around there at least. And you may have been feeling with that too in the month of May, as well as Mercury retrograde. It's just feeling like slow and kind of sluggish, and things just kind of not going where you need them to go. And again, as you said, patience. It's really been a lot about learning patience. And Mercury retrograde's a lot about reevaluating, reassessing, rethinking. And I like to think of it like a redo. Like, okay, what do I need a redo on right now? I'm getting a second chance at something I can fix before I sign anything or before I launch anything. I'm going to really look things over, reviewing finances, your self-worth, and your values. It's kind of been all around that aspect, but it shall, move out of the way very soon. Like I said, June 3rd, and then you probably will even feel it start, subsiding around June 3rd when it does station direct, but you have that shadow phase that you just kind of want to make sure you're aware of. And especially being in Gemini, you can have a lot of miscommunication, misunderstandings. So you want to just still go, okay, I'm excited to go out and have fun, because it does feel like that there's a surge of movement coming, of travel, and let's go explore. So just know that you've got your ducks in a row before you head out, and especially if it's during the Mercury retrograde's shadow as well.
yeah, that's a lot to think about. I said it was going to be good.
It is, right. Well, it is good. I feel like June, like I said, it's communication and having fun and getting out and socializing, networking, launching stuff if you're going to. The only key piece I have that I want to have like the red flag on is just try to wait till mid-June, if you're planning something big and signing anything. Other than that, you can start, June, get out there and start having some fun.
I'm just really looking forward to that energy of expansion. I think that's what we've been missing. You and I were talking about this before we got on, and it's just like everything seems to be just going so slowly. Like we were even saying that it seemed like forever since we did the last forecast. And
Right.
only been
May
a month,
felt really
right?
long. And other than that, every month was flying. We were like, oh my gosh, how are we
Mhm.
already in May? And
Yeah,
then May
yeah,
hit, and it was like the brakes went on.
yeah,
And we're like, why do we have to be stuck in the mud? I'd rather be stuck in a happy place, not where everything is so intense.
yeah.
But it's necessary. It's how we
Well,
learn and grow.
that's the whole thing. We were talking about that earlier too, and sometimes the universe just has to give you a bit of a pause. You might find that things aren't going as quickly as what you'd like, but you have no idea what's around the corner either. So it
Exactly.
could be bringing you, an event or something that's going to really tax you out mentally, physically,
Exactly.
emotionally, whatever.
Yeah.
And you've got to trust that the universe knows exactly what you need and gives you exactly what you need in the perfect timing.
Yeah.
But
100%
sometimes that's
surrender.
hard.
I've been learning surrender this month of May.
Yeah.
Surrender.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
I'm
Yeah,
just
surrender to not killing that ant as it marches by your
right.
desk. Right.
Exactly.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. But I did pull two cards.
okay.
One, I have the power card right here.
Ooh,
So, and that's kind of like the strength card too, right? So
yeah.
it's all about, tapping into your strength and your willpower, and think of what you've just gone through, even the last, gosh, we're going into the 6 months, so I can say last 5, 6 months, what you've been going through, and especially May. A lot of people that I know as well were going through so much intense emotions and feelings that they didn't even know where they were coming from and why am I feeling this way, and then acknowledging it and understanding it, right? So learn from it, use the strength you gained from it, because there's a lot of wisdom and knowledge within that that's going to be able to put in your toolbox for a future reference that's needed. The other card I got was Creative Project. So definitely sounds like June.
Yeah.
Your soul longs to express itself in creative ways. We're guiding you to infuse artistry and creativity into your life. Creative expression makes you feel alive and excited and reignites passion towards your life. So that's that one there.
Nice.
Really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what's the number on that card? Or is there
That
one?
is nope, doesn't have a number.
Oh,
It's numberless.
a number less. Okay.
It does not have it's an angel card, so I'm not sure. Yeah, it does not have a
Yeah.
number.
It's so interesting because I've noticed over the past month, quite often when I do readings for people, I feel inspired to pull a card. And I use the James Van Praagh Soul's Lesson Journey cards. It didn't matter how hard I would shuffle that deck. It didn't matter how many times I would spin it around, toss it in the air, do whatever I had to do. The indecision card kept coming up.
Wow.
It was like an overall theme of May was that everybody I seem to do readings for were suffering from indecision, right? So I thought about that. And when you brought up that power card, that number 8 power card, I started thinking about that sometimes we get, especially when you get in a funky place where the energy is really low and heavy, like it has been for May, we start feeling sorry for ourselves and we start feeling trapped and we're not getting anywhere and life just sucks and all that. Yeah. But if you'll just pause for a second and take a look at where you are compared to where you used to be.
Yeah.
And most times you'll see that there's some progression.
Right.
Like I looked at my YouTube channel for something today, kind of getting behind the scenes. And I realized I've been on YouTube 8 years now. And wow. I thought, I didn't realize it was 8 years. Yeah. And I thought, well, you know what? I like to think that's a bit of an accomplishment because I did not need to do it YouTube 8 years ago, right?
Yes.
So I think it's important to reflect and go, hey, yeah, look at that. There's a measure of where I've come from, and celebrate that, because it's like you cannot build a foundation for yourself if you keep focusing on how many bricks you don't have.
Exactly.
Right? You got to focus on, if you've got a pile of bricks and maybe you only have 8 or 10 bricks, all right, maybe that's not enough to build a foundation, but the more you focus on how great those bricks are, the more bricks you'll have and the bigger your foundation will grow. So I think this is a good month coming into June to really pay attention to what you have accomplished and don't allow yourself to get trapped by what you haven't accomplished.
Exactly. I mean, even over the last 2 years, since 2020, think of what you've gone through. I mean, May really was just kind of pushing a lot of stuff all together to reevaluate and look at. Yeah. But the last 2 years, people have gone through so much, and you can name easily, I imagine everyone could name at least 10 things that they've managed to accomplish through that, to find inner strength they didn't know they had, right?
Yeah.
So all that stuff moving forward, pay attention to that. Like, I love your analogy of building the bricks, because some people will look at how little they have instead of, wow, at least I have bricks to start with. I have something to work with, right? And it's all perspective and your belief system, and just how you're looking at the cup, half full or half empty.
Always your choice, isn't it? Right? Yeah. I think the other thing too that's important to remember as well is that given that we're dealing with the 3 energy in June, the 3 energy encourages us to express ourselves. So journaling is it's a really great time. If you're trying to get the ideas out, if you're a little bit confused, if you're full of indecision, this is a great way to start letting the flow of the energy come through you, put it onto the page. Yeah. And what I find with journaling, I don't do it as often as I should, but what I find with journaling is that when I will go back to my journals, I can look back at that and go, wow, I overcame that. Like, I thought I was in kind of a crappy place until I read where I came from. And I realized, wow, you know what? I'm not doing so badly. So exactly. I think it's a great measure. So
I agree.
If you haven't started journaling, June will be a great month to pick up your pen and paper and get her done.
Definitely is. Yeah. Even astrologically wise, it is. It's time to be creative and, getting things off your mind and writing them down. One thing I've noticed too when I do that is I used to get, because I'm an air sign, so I used to get really stuck in my head a lot. And what I would learned is by writing it down, I was releasing it from my mind, and I gave more room for me to, of course, have other thoughts,
Oh, I
but then
love
I
that.
write those down. But it really helped me to clear my mind of all the clutter because I knew I had it on paper. It was like, oh, I don't have
Right.
to think about that anymore. I wrote it down. I know I
Yeah.
don't have to keep going or remember to stop and get that, remember to do that. Yeah, so it's a good time to just use it for all kinds of different things.
Yeah.
Release
I'm the
clutter
queen
and
of,
also coming up with creative projects.
yeah.
And if you're ready to launch something, like we said, 3 is a very upbeat number. And, once we hit mid-June, it looks like all systems are go. Feel
That's
into
good.
it though. Pay
Yeah.
attention. Make sure you're feeling good and everything works right for you. But yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. And take time out to do you. It's really important to just tap into who you
absolutely.
are and express yourself.
Yes.
Get a little goofy, dye your hair a different color, whatever, wear something different. Let's
Yeah.
shake it up a little bit.
Own who you are. Yeah.
Own who you are. I love it.
Yeah.
Well, that's awesome. So, if anybody is looking to connect with Susan, you can do so at spiritsandbeyond.com. She's got some great courses going on. She does some amazing readings. I know that because she's my go-to girl. I've had readings from her. So, if you want to connect with somebody on the other side, she's really great at that. And yeah, anything else coming up, Sue, that you want to?
No, not really. I'm just doing lots of one-on-ones and creating the courses for people that
Yeah,
seem to have really great feedback. So I've had people ask for more different things to work on. So that's
yeah,
kind of been a lot of stuff I've been working on right now to bring more one-on-one to that are in different scenarios and different types of courses for all different kinds of things that will help people, whether it's transforming their life, healing their body, learning
yeah,
more about the power of the subconscious mind, and all those kinds of wonderful things. Setting boundaries, that's a big one we've been working on.
yeah,
So learning how
yeah.
to
That is a big
stand
one.
up and take your power back.
Yeah.
There
And
you
well,
go.
this month to do it too, because we picked the 8 card. So
Yeah.
the power card. All right. Well, I'll look forward to talking to you this time next month. So
Absolutely.
hoping everybody out there is going to have a fabulous June. Make sure that you are creating your best month ever. Take care, guys. Bye for now.